Well, Andrew, here we are at Great Foster's, and we've had 3 days of real hard work, and I think we've got a really exciting programme. I don't know whether you would like to comment on some of the sessions that we've got. We spent a long time arguing about the priorities for orals and posters and so on, and I think now we've got what looks like a really exciting programme.
Yes, I mean, thanks to the large scientific committee and the effort they've put in scoring abstracts, I think there's been a really good process for selecting abstracts, and I think that the standard of the abstract presentations is extremely high, and they really link nicely with the invited speakers that we already had, and so the sessions really round off nicely, that we've got new material presented alongside reviews by experts and panel discussions. So I think it's really come together well in a way that you never know is going to happen until it actually does happen. So it's been really good.
Yeah. And I suppose some of the really breakthrough stuff is going to come through the new drugs sessions and also the expanding component of treatment of hepatitis C. Again, with the exciting new drugs, it's now becoming a curable disease for the first time. And we're getting rid of that interferon that caused so many adverse events, and we're going to hear about those new drugs. But of course, one of the issues around it is the cost, and the community are going to be having a session discussing those issues.
Yeah, I mean, the issue of cost effectiveness really comes to the fore around hepatitis drugs, of course, given their huge cost and the limited resources that there are in providing them, but also with HIV care and antiretrovirals.
Yes.
And within HIV care, the impact of new generic drugs is an important thing to consider. And so I think it's very important that we're having a very good discussion with a very good expert health economic input into those issues for HIV and hepatitis. So that's also going to be really excellent.
And the other big area, I think, is around the consequences of the residual stimulation of the immune system, even when you've suppressed the virus. And we will have somebody looking at Clifford Lane from the National Institute of Health, looking at the suspected mechanism, but also, I think, suggesting some new mechanisms by which that happens, because it may well be driving a lot of the sort of diseases of aging, the cardiac disease, the liver disease, and so on. And we don't understand, firstly, really what causes it, and secondly, we don't know how to manage that effect in terms of treatment.
Yeah, I agree, and it's very difficult to study to actually really understand to what extent these are effects of HIV or antiretroviral therapy, or whether they're just differences between people with HIV and the kind of control groups that are selected. So I think it's an area, I think it's one of the most important questions, is really understanding for people with long-term viral suppression and on antiretroviral therapy, whether there are ongoing issues that we can still potentially, such as inflammation, which we can potentially address with new drugs, or whether in fact the prognosis is almost as good as a person who hadn't actually been infected.
Well, I'm really looking forward to the Congress, actually. I mean, there's a little time to go, but I think it's going to be incredibly exciting, a lot of new material, and I think I'll really enjoy it.